This is for my fellow business owners and those that are thinking about starting up a business and that entrepreneurship is enticing to them. So if you're going to create a business, I'm going to suggest these 7 factors for you to highly consider. Number 1 of the biggest errors that new business owners have, and especially in the behavior analysis community, there are many ABA providers sprouting up everywhere. And one of the biggest challenges I see over time is because I go and evaluate companies and see how I can help them in many ways. One of the biggest factors is that they don't pay their quarterly estimated taxes. So if you're a business owner, what happens is you start think, especially if you're a single member LLC, you're really taxed at like 45%. So you're only keeping 55% of the money you receive. So between self-employment taxes, income taxes, and possibly payroll taxes, it could be more than 45%. So business owners, especially single member LLC owners, need to know that's not all their money. They need to put the money aside and pay them in quarterly estimated amounts. So in other words, for 2018, you're paying 4 installment payments to the IRS based on your last year's average earnings. Very important. That's how people end up going in the hole. There's nothing the IRS cannot do. There's nothing the IRS cannot do to you. They can levy your bank accounts. They can take your home, they can put liens on everything. Trust me, because this all happened to me back in the day, not now. My second big tip for anyone thinking about starting a business or that just started a business that is an entrepreneur: diversify your funds. Don't have all your eggs in one basket. It's really important to make sure that you're reaching out to many funding sources. They all don't have to be as profitable, but realize that the more you diversify your funding, the less any one funding source can try to control you or influence you or try to modify your ethics or get you to bend on things. So it's really important to keep a diversified funding stream the best you can. Number 3, again, I'm saying a lot of these things about, for business owners and entrepreneurs, do not use your home as collateral for a business credit line. I did it, I lost it, you name it, it's all happened to me. Bankruptcy, because you also shouldn't start off a business in debt. You shouldn't start borrowing things. You shouldn't borrow from your friends and family. It creates strain in the relationship. What you need to do is be able to just bootstrap, work hard, because what happens is you have more time on your hands in the beginning, and that's when you need to learn to do things. You need to learn to be the bookkeeper, you need to learn employment law, and the list goes on and on. So don't just think that it's okay to start borrowing money, because you're gonna go in the hole right away, and 80% of businesses fail in their first 16 months. Number 5, this is a red flag for business owners to also know. I've learned the hard way through many years in business that, again, behavior analysts don't ever get training in business. All we can understand is human behavior. But after studying behavior, I've dealt with many, many attorneys and many lawyers and the whole justice system when it comes to different situations. And one of the biggest challenges is that you need to know that whatever amount of insurance you get, the attorneys find out as quick as they can, both your own attorney and the opposing counsel. And if there's any kind of litigation, they're the first ones to find out the maximum insurance that you have for coverage, and they will sue you for that maximum. So if you could not let them know about your insurance, and they're less likely to go after that. Now, they can go after your assets, but I want you to know it's a lot harder to go after people's personal assets than it is for a commercial insurance policy. I'm not saying don't get insurance, but what I'm highly suggesting to you is that you don't advertise that you have a bunch of insurance, because it's even that way in the auto industry. If you get into an accident and there's a personal injury claim, and both attorneys look to find out how much coverage you have, and that's what they go after. So just know that little hack, that it's better for you to keep that under your hat and not advertise and just disclose all the insurance that you have. Probably nobody knows that one. I don't know. Number 6, as a behavior scientist, you're going to pontificate a lot. You're going to analyze, you're going to want things to be systematic, but where behavior analysts fall short, and entrepreneurs in any industry, is that they pontificate, they brainstorm, they plan, they write 5-year business plans, but they never execute. Execution is critical because many things are based on timing, especially with market forces. Execution is critical. Don't just pontificate all day about what you're going to do and keep thinking, I'm going to do this next month, because you'll keep putting it off, and you'll keep finding people around you, especially your family and friends, that will discourage you from doing it. Number 7, if you have employees, do not with their money. Never pay them late. So we'll bleep that out, right? Don't mess with your employees' money. So in other words, you made a promise about a raise, or you made a promise about a bonus, you deliver. You make a promise about revenue or profit sharing, you deliver. One of the worst things you can do is break a promise about money or delay people's pay. Trust me, I know, when I went through a really rough time, this was probably 13 years ago, I had delayed some people's pay due to cash and capital shortages. They were gone. Don't mess with people's money. Tip number 8 for entrepreneurs: play the long game and realize that success is not going to happen overnight with your business. Your first couple years may be a loss, but realize all that matters is trends. So it's going to be important to realize that your discipline and your success as an entrepreneur is directly proportionate to you staying the course on very laser-focused actions that produce the desirable outcomes for your business. So in other words, for you to grind away every single day with repeated laser-focused actions. So success is basically repeated actions over time that you sustain. Not shit that you just do for 1 week because you feel motivated. It's finding the key performance indicators and the behaviors that have the biggest impact on your business and doing them every single day without fail. That's important to sustain any success and to build momentum. Number 9, this actually could go for any consultant for that matter. Especially if you're an entrepreneur and a business owner, you need to be prepared every single day to move from proactive mode to reactive mode at a moment's notice. And you have to be able to shift back from being reactive to be able to be proactive again. So what I mean by that is, schedule your morning, have plans, have real concise, clear plans on a task list of what you're working on accomplishing to get ahead of things, but then be ready for that reactive phone call to occur that you end up having to pick up, and it's an emergency because so-and-so happened, someone didn't get paid, the bank called and said that you bounced a check, things that will put you in reactive mode. The key is how rapidly you can flip back into proactive mode without that allowing you to shake you, to rock your confidence. Daily routines that allow you to shift from proactive to reactive. I actually would rather call it responsive mode instead of reactive. So going from proactive to responsive and then back to proactive, because the proactive stuff is what will drive your long-term success. The responsive mode and just responding to a big problem will be important in the moment, but not for the long-term success. My last in the series of 10 things to consider for entrepreneurs is just realize that all your problems as an entrepreneur, not all, but many of your problems as an entrepreneur can be solved by frigging sales and revenue. So people get so caught up in all these other areas like, wow, I have to get on social media and have a presence here, there, I have to go do this. But in the end, when it comes down to P&L, profit and loss, a lot of people don't want to think that, but again, no margin, no mission. In order to change lives, you need a margin. You need a margin of profit. And again, remember, you're in it for the long game. It's not to have that, you're not going to have success overnight, but just realize that sales and quality service delivery that brings in revenue solves 90% of your problems.